Can everyone hear me? Yes, they can. Hopefully not. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to this workshop by growwithgoogle.com. Build your professional brand. My name is James Mitchell, and a little bit of background on me. I grew up in LA and was born and raised in LA, and transferred from Compton College to Chico State University. And right now, I'm a marketing intern here at Chico Start, where it's a business incubator, so local small businesses could come in and rent out space using Chico Start, which is a nonprofit. So that being said, I'm super excited to join you guys today. In this workshop, we'll go over spending some time exploring the concept of professional branding and how it can help you build your career. You'll learn how your personal brand and career story can actually help you get potential employers, clients, and collaborators more quickly so that they know who you are and you can bring something to the table. And then we'll talk about simple steps that you can start building your own brand. A few exercises in this workshop involve some writing. So you may want to bring a notebook and pen, or you can always use a digital document like a Google Doc. So with that being said, let's get started. Okay, so today we're going to talk about what professional branding can mean for your career and how it's never too early or too late to start building your own brand. We'll start by covering what a professional brand is and how companies use brands to build trust with clients and customers. Then we'll talk about how building a professional brand can help you grow your career no matter what type of work you do. After that, we'll go over 3 steps that you can take to build your professional brand, like defining your brand, building your online presence, and growing your network. In the next 45 minutes, you'll take the first steps towards defining your own personal brand and learn how to keep building your personal brand online and in person. Without further ado, let's get started. So, think about a company that you like. Maybe it's a restaurant, maybe it's a clothing brand, or a particular product that you enjoy. When you think about this company, what images come into your mind? What feelings do you associate with the company? Who is your ideal customer, client, or target audience? Who are they selling their products or service to? What sets their product or service apart from competitors with similar offerings? How does their advertising make you feel about using um, their product or service? How do they maintain consistency in their advertising? Are you able to look at one of those ads or social media posts and know it's from that company? All these impressions and the experiences you have interacting with or hearing about a company, even just looking at their logo, are all a part of the company's brand. Companies hire marketing professionals to help them build their brands. In fact, a company logo advertising language, a company's logos, advertising language, and even the colors and fonts and they use in advertising are considered a part of its branding. A brand isn't just built by deliberate choices. It's built over time as a result of people's experiences when they interact with a product or service, or even what they hear about the company and organization from other people. You're a person, not a company. What's your branding got to do with your career? Just as companies' brands communicate their qualities and offerings, you can build a brand to market yourself as you grow your career. Your professional brand is made up of the unique combination of your career story, along with the qualities and skills and experiences. It's a way of letting potential employers, educational institutions, colleagues, clients, and even mentors get a sense of who you are and what you have to offer. So a few slides back, you thought of a specific company, and then I asked you several questions of how you perceive that company. Um, you can also ask similar questions about your personal brand. For example, like I told you about, what images and feelings do you want people to associate with you and your work? Who's your ideal employer, client, or customer, etc. You guys heard me. But while you won't necessarily have paid advertisements or shopping bags with your logo on them, you will have a resume and social media accounts, which would also reflect your personal brand. So as you meet people in your field and build your network, a strong professional brand will help you leave a lasting impression. Strong Branding is helpful for everyone in the job market, but even more crucial if you want to start your own business or launch a freelance career. A great brand can help freelancers, self-employed people, and small business owners attract customers and gain huge opportunities. Now that you get a sense of what professional branding can mean for you as an individual, try applying the same questions to a person in the public eye. Think of a public figure you admire. They could be a performer, an activist, or political figure, or anyone in the public eye. Now, take a few moments to think about their personal brand. What images and feelings do they associate with? Do you associate with them? What qualities do they possess? What do you think is their ideal customer, client, or target audience? What sets them apart? How do they maintain brand consistency? The answers to all these questions reflect this person's brand. Just like your favorite company has integrated their brand into everything they do, advertising, social media, in-person experiences, even their fonts and logos, you should do the same with your personal brand. For your resume to social media posts, your networking conversations, every interaction you have is an opportunity to let people know what you have to offer. That's what your brand is about. It explains your background, skills, passions, and interests, and what sets you apart from others on the job market, while also letting people know why they should want you to work with you, why they should want to work with you. So in this section, we'll go over three major steps you can take to build your brand starting today. Defining your brand, building your online presence, and growing your network. Those are the three steps. So the first step, define your brand. I will lead you to some exercises that will help you get a better understanding of your professional brand as you create a brand statement. In the second and third steps, you'll learn all about actions that you can start taking immediately after the workshop to start building your brand. For this step, you'll need a pen and paper, or you can take notes in a Google Doc. So the first step toward communicating your brand is trying to figure out your brand statement. Brand statement will be one or two sentences quickly which can quickly let someone get to know you or your work. It tells them about your career or educational history and lets them know where your career is heading. Um, you will use your brand statement to communicate the key information about your potential employers, clients, and collaborators. In a few moments, you'll write out your brand statement. To make it simpler, we'll start by focusing on your career story. So, an interesting part of your career story, you want to start at the beginning. Your story gives people a deeper understanding of who you are, where you're coming from, and what you have to offer. So please give as much detail as you can, and then later we will wrap it up into short sentences. So, just to give you an example, for instance, if you're a parent, special needs, if you parent a special needs child and you say you went to teaching, and as a result of that experience, you will probably have a specific point of view about your work in the classroom. Or if you're a student who has been deeply involved with environmental activism, you'll definitely bring that unique perspective to a job in city planning. Your career will also include time away from work. So lots of people have experienced longer breaks in employment. Some people have taken off time to raise children, care for a family member, or any other personal reasons. Um, other Others had longer breaks in employment because of a layoff during an economic downturn. Don't let a break in employment keep you from applying for the jobs you want. They're part of your career story too. So make sure you include that um, when you are telling your story. Now that we talked about your past, let's talk about your future. So sharing your professional goal will help people know where you're headed and what and may help them decide what they want with you, if they want to work with you. The parent who's gone into teaching, who I mentioned in the last slide, may have a goal to help educators, meet the needs of all their students. Keep in mind that your professional goal is likely to change over time. People often make decisions to make career changes in their career, and often their goals change along with them. But that's okay. On the next slide, you'll write your goal as you understand them today. So combining your career origin story and professional goal. I'm gonna give you a minute to combine both of those, and uh, just remember, I want you guys to remember that you can always come back to later and write more. But here are just a few questions to help you get started. So for all those of you out there who are listening right now, this is a great exercise for you to start your brand story and get things moving. So the first question would be, what led you to become interested in this type of work? Who influenced you along the way? If you're going to accomplish anything, what would it be? What is one important problem or issue you would like to improve or address? What is the first big step you'd like to take toward your dream career? And to complete your branding statement, you'll need a few more details that will describe the way you do things. So your first step will be to make a list of things that you want your potential employer, school, or coworkers to know about you. These can be qualities like you possess, like being honest or hardworking, or they can be specific skills you have or activities you've involved in, like community organizing, volunteer work, activism, or athletics. If you get stuck, think about words other people use to describe you. Do they enjoy your sense of humor? Do they envy your organizational skills? Do they seek out when they need to talk through tough issues? Um, when you made your list, circle and highlight the top three qualities and skills and talents that you'd like to share. And then after that, choose the ones that influence the way you approach your career. Next, you're going to write down 1 to 2 statements that combines them to tell your career story. Your career story statement should give people a sense of who you are when coming from, where you're coming from, and what special thing you have to offer. For example, I am a trained improv comic whose humor, who uses humor to get young people excited about STEM fields. Or I'm a journalist who brings attention to important social issues in my community. Or I'm a recent graduate looking to bring my attention to detail to an administrative job in the finance industry. Or even I'm a former short order cook opening to open my food truck to make delicious, healthy food available to people in the community. As I mentioned before, aspects of your career should be integrated into the materials you can use to market yourself professionally. So your career story is a great huge step toward your building your professional brand. As you start to communicate your brand, find opportunities to incorporate your career story and keep refining your career story over time. So tell me about yourself. This is something you'll likely hear at a job interview, a networking event, or in any other professional context. It can feel such a large general question that it can be hard to know how to answer. Um, but if someone asks you about yourself, you want to use your story statement as often as you can. You also want to share skills, qualities, interests, and talents that apply to that role. So congratulations, your career story and the list of top 5 qualities, skills, and accomplishments or activities give you enough information to start building your brand. They tell you how you should speak and write about yourself as a potential employee. Now think of ways that you can use your career story and 5 qualities to market yourself as a potential employee and collaborator. Incorporating your brand into all marketing materials, including resumes, cover letters, business cards, websites, in-person conversations, blog, and social media posts. So now that we've covered step 1, it's now time to move on to step 2, which is building your online presence. Your online presence should be an extension of the impression you make when you meet someone in person. In other words, if your career story is that you're a former line cook who's opening up a food truck, and your 3 words are hardworking, determined, and community-minded, people should get an impression of you when they read your posts on social media and when they come to you for an in-person interview. Let's start by talking about how you can promote your brand online with something you're likely already doing, posting on social media. So most of us participate in some form of social media. Everybody that all of my friends have social media. That's just because of you know um, my generation is using social media. So no matter what platforms you use, it's important to understand that everything you put online will affect how people view you and will impact your professional career. Make sure your tone is always professional when sharing your career story and positive. Building a network takes time. So now that you know a few specific actions you can take, um, uh, now that you know a few specific actions you can take to build your career network, it's important to remember that this step will take time. Your network will naturally grow as you spend more time pursuing your career and other interests. If you follow the steps we discussed, you should be able to build more relationships more quickly. So, choosing the right platforms. Pick 1 to 2 platforms and contribute regularly. Think about the brand you plan to cultivate and the audience you're trying to reach, and then decide which platform you will meet those goals in. There's different social media sites. So let's start with professional networking sites like LinkedIn or Handshake for college students. You can build your profile on professional networking sites by following these steps: showcasing accomplishments, sharing your volunteer work, posting articles, and engaging in discussions. Photo and video sharing. You can also share photos with friends or the public. It can also help photos and video sharing can also help build your brand if your work can be shown visually. Use business accounts for professional purposes only. Microblogging. If you want to use sites for microblogging like Twitter, they allow you to share your thoughts in just a sentence or two. These sites can be a good way for writers and other language-based content creators to communicate with a wide audience and build their brands. Social networking sites such as Facebook can also allow you to stay in touch with people you know and meet new people. Some social networking sites also allows you to set up a profile for a business, which can be great for building your brand. Creating and sharing content. Making and sharing content can be a great way to help people learn about you and what you do. People in almost any career can use content to build their brand. For example, a teacher might write a blog post about interesting assignments they've given students. An HR professional might share articles about updates to employment law on a networking site. A hairstylist can post before and after photos of happy clients. A real estate agent can post a list of tips for quickly selling your home on social media. So remember, you don't always have to create your own original content. You can also promote other people's work by sharing their posts or cross promoting or sharing on brand content made by other people. So managing your privacy online. Once you've started building your presence online, it becomes important to also consider the parts of your life you don't want to share to this world. This is where privacy comes in. In the next few slides, we'll talk about a few ways you can protect your brand and yourself by taking steps to ensure your policy. So setting your accounts to private. This is the first thing you want to do when creating your business account. You want to make sure all your personal information are set to private. When potential employers and colleagues search for you, they'll see all the accounts that are private. So locking down your accounts allows you to approve potential followers and friends. This is just an optional exercise if you want to search for yourself. This is designed to help you out with employers, collaborators, or educators that may see you when they search you online. It will give you a chance. So try this exercise by logging into your accounts and try to navigate through the settings and try to set your settings to private. And it's just a sort of easy exercise. Try to not only do that, but search for yourself afterwards. So opening an incognito in your browser, you want to open a new incognito mode, and then navigate to your search engine. You're going to click File, and then New Incognito Mode, and navigate to the Google search engine. And how to think about your results. No matter what you find doing this internet search, it'll also allow you to prepare a case in a case a potential employer, a client or collaborator has questions about your search results. You may find results with other people's names, other people with your name, or your own website, or even news articles that feature you. You might not find much at all, but that's fine. So is this something you have control over? If yes, click delete. change settings to private, or ask others to remove. Do you have a privacy checkup? If so, if not, visit myaccount.google.com/privacy checkup. Browse to the privacy settings and make adjustments as needed. Grow your brand online. So now that you learned the several steps that you can take to grow your brand online, identifying the right platforms, managing your privacy settings, obviously on your social media accounts, keeping tabs on your search results, and performing a privacy check. Now you're ready to grow your brand online, which is steady progress, making smart choices, and consistent monitoring. So the last step of building your brand online presence is growing your network. Now that you've defined your brand and learned how to spread the word online, the next step is to get as many people possible as familiar with you and excited about your brand. So what is a network? A network is a community of people with a shared intention of building each other's career. With that being said, you want to find mentors. Mentor is someone who is willing to share knowledge that will help you grow. They're generally someone who has more experience than you and willing to help you on your challenges or endeavors. You also want to find advocates, someone who will help take actions to help, someone who will take actions to help your career progress. So unlike a mentor who is there to impact knowledge, an advocate will help concentrate on your uh, on your actions to help your career progress. For example, they may be able to recommend a job for you, a promotion, or a raise. Mentors and advocates, will both serve important roles in your growing career. Board of directors. Board of directors are a group of people who can steer your decision making and introduce you to people and give advice or talk things through. So companies have advisory groups called board of directors, and as you build your own career and professional brand, you may also benefit by creating your own board of directors as a group of people that can steer your decision making process and introduce you to new people or give great advice or just help talk through things. Rather than a company's board of directors, which has formal meetings, you can meet with a group of friends, mentors, colleagues, friends with expertise in your field or similar expertise who you can trust. Rather than meeting as a group, you can call them you can call them individually when you need help with a specific issue. So just to recap, today you took the first steps toward building your brand, personal brand. We started by discussing how companies use branding to build their reputations, and learned how individuals can build their own professional brand to take their careers to the next level. You've defined your career story and figured out how to respond when someone says, "Tell me about yourself" in an interview, meeting, networking, or setting. Then we talked about ways you can build your online presence, talked about strategies for expanding your reach through content creation, and finally, we looked at strategies for expanding your network. We discussed finding mentors and advocates, and you started thinking about your board of directors. I think that was everything. So this workshop was just the beginning. Now that you know how to start thinking about your brand, here are some action steps you can take. One, you can incorporate your brand into your materials. You could also build. Two, you could also build your brand online. Three, you can build your network. Find mentors, advocates, people you can appoint to um, as your board of directors. Last but not least, if you want to sharpen your business skills or marketing skills, please check out Primer. Primer is a free app you can download on your phone. If you have an Android device, you can go on the app Google Play Store. If you have an Apple device, you can go on the App Store. These are a series of short, fun lessons, you guys, that are less than 5 minutes, kind of like YouTube, but are specifically about improving your skills. There are also free lessons for applied digital skills. If you want to sharpen your Google Workspace knowledge with applied digital skills sessions, please visit g.co/applied digital skills to get more information. And if you want to continue with your education with Grow with Google on Air, register for the next workshop, Grow with Google on Air. For example, nail your job search You can go to g.co/grow/job seekers. And for our Google Careers certificates, you can prepare a new career in 6 months with the professional training designed by Google. So no experience needed. You can learn at your own pace, and you can stand out to employers a path to in-demand jobs. And you can also learn more. You can also learn and explore more digital tools at our Grow with Google site. And if you enjoyed this workshop, please come back to take additional courses and grow your digital skills. Now, with that being said, thank you all for showing up, or thank you all for listening. For people who aren't on this live but well are watching this at a later time, thank you for showing up and listening to this whole workshop. I hope you got something out of it because I definitely did. And have a good one.